Hi, everybody. It's Katie Joe with Sovereign Soul, and I want to talk to you a little bit about why the moon affects us. Because when we start to talk about the moon, what I see is a lot of people start to check out those with the logical minds, those who are the business leaders, a lot of kind of like this condescending ideas of like, oh, here we go, the moon's affecting us. And it seems like it's all woo woo. And then you have the other side where the other side is the woo woo community. And I never say that with any type of disdain. I just want you to know that. But in this new age kind of like spiritual community, they'll guide everything by the moon and they'll be like, what's your astrology doing? What's your sign doing? What's this and this and this? And they'll kind of let themselves be controlled by it or they won't make moves without it. Now, I just wrote this book, which is The Year of the Moons. And I wrote this book because I wanted it to be for the executive who doesn't believe in any of the woo woo stuff. And I want it to be for the woo woo person who's all the way deep dived in it. Now, this book actually follows the Farmer's Almanac moons in North America versus the astrology because this can go every single year. You don't need to buy a new book every single year. Let me explain to you a little bit about why the moon even affects us at all. Everyone knows that scientifically the moon affects the ocean tides. The magnetic pull or the gravitational pull of the moon pulls on the water in the ocean so much so that the tide goes. But what people don't also realize is it pulls on the soil. And there are places where the soil in the earth literally will shift as much as 18 inches or so based on just the gravitational pull of the moon. Now, if we are mostly water and then the rest of us is earth, if you will, made of the same stuff as earth, our bodies are water and earth, and we can see that the moon is affecting the water and earth that is that part of the world, then of course the moon would be pulling on us too, the gravitational pull. So one of the ways that I like to explain this when I teach classes on this or at my events is this. Imagine if my head was the earth, okay? So think of the celestial bodies out there in the universe, and my head is the earth. When we are in anything but a full moon, the moon is over on this side of my head and the sun is over here. So you have the gravitational pull being buffered by the earth, so we feel more anchored. Now, when it moves into full moon, what happens is the full moon and the sun are now getting this full blast. So you're getting still the gravitational pull of the sun, the gravitational pull of the moon, and what's occurring is we're standing here on the earth, and instead of having the earth as a buffer, we're literally feeling this pull apart in two directions. So when we have this feelings and leading up to the full moon, you're actually feeling stuff come to the surface because you're being pulled in two directions and your mind is trying to understand, why am I feeling out of sorts? Why am I feeling somewhat discombobulated? Why are my emotions so easily at the surface? Why is all of this occurring? And it's because subconsciously you are aware that you're being pulled apart, being pulled in two directions. And the brain is trying to say, why am I feeling this lack of feeling grounded and centered? What's going on? And so the brain's saying, well, it must be because of this situation at work or this situation with this person or because this is what happens in my past. So the brain is calculating, why am I not feeling completely centered and grounded? And it's trying to resolve the issues. And as it's doing that, bringing up memories. It's bringing up things that are irritating you. It's bringing these up because it's trying to figure out why it's feeling this way. So it's not something to be afraid of. It's not something that's controlling you. In fact, my hope with giving you this message is that it empowers you to understand that sometimes when your emotions are rising, it's a good idea to know where the moon is, only because it is physically affecting you, the water and the earth that you are. We are not separate than the earth. We are part of it. And it will give you some guidance as to that. Now, when we move into the book, what the book is it's following this cycle. So unlike, the modern society we start in January and we think we're going to set all these goals, new year, but our bodies are not necessarily coded to that. We are mammals, and every other mammal in the winter is not hustling in the middle of January. So when we're doing that, even though culturally and societally it's a massive benefit. I mean, I launch a lot of things in January because we are culturally programmed to want to have that restart. So that's still a good thing. But biologically, our bodies are saying, I just want to rest. I just want to relax. It's dark outside. So we're not pushing against that. So for January's full moon, it's called the wolf full moon. And following the moon, if it was in the season, this would be the time to ask, who's my inner circle as we move into this next year? Who do I want to be in my quote unquote wolf pack? Who are the people that I want to create business with? Who are the people that I want to create relationships with? And so it's like, who's my pack? And also owning your truth, getting really clear about your wolf side, meaning what is my contribution to the world? So that's what you'd be focusing on in January. And that can that coincide with or simultaneously align with your goals? Absolutely, because if you're doing your January 1st goals and making the list like a lot of us people do here in North America, if we do that, that's great, do that. And as you're writing that goal list, energetically, biologically, you say, okay, here's the goals. Instead of trying to get out there and manage it and do it all in the dark time of the year, you would be saying, and now I'm clear about what I want to do, meaning like I'm clear what I want to hunt this year. Who's my inner circle? Who do I trust? Who can trust me? Who do I want to be and speak my truth with? Who do I want to gather around or gather with so that I can execute this destiny path that I maybe goal set that I have this next year? So it all goes together. Now with the moon, you have a 30-day window, well, 28-day window, where you have the new moon, which is time to set new goals, and you have the full moon to get rid of anything that's in the way of them. Because we can't do everything. We can't keep putting more stuff onto our plate. We can't keep filling the jar. Eventually it hits capacity. So when we follow this cycle of for 2 weeks of the month or 2 weeks out of 20, 28 days, I'm going to focus on creation, creation, creation. And for 2 weeks, I'm going to focus on what do I need to release that's in the way? What is taking up my time, energy, emotions that are in the way of what I want to create? So for 2 weeks, I'm going to clear things off. And for 2 weeks, I'm going to put things on. And when we simply follow that cycle with certain focuses, so in January, you're focusing on building your pack. On February, you're really going to start crystallizing those intentions. The snow moon is about crystallizing those intentions. And then in the crow moon, which is March, it's time to rise up out of the darkness. So you've gathered the people, the experiences, your wolf packs together. You've crystallized the plans. And now in March, you're going to take that and you're going to rise out of the darkness. And then it goes on through the year. So just following this framework, this cycle that is nature-based with this, I'm going to create and I'm going to clear. I'm going to add things and I'm going to clear things that are not working out. Just doing that, whether you're a business executive and you don't believe in the moons at all, or whether you're the totally wild, hippie-loving moon dancing naked around the fire person, whatever it is, following the system can actually greatly excel and change your life. So this book is available on Amazon. You're welcome to get that. You're also welcome to ask me any questions, but this simple framework, how the moon can and does affect us, help you.